I remember 4 specific times where I would literally just like throw up, head over to class, come back to my room to sleep until I had another class, or maybe I just didn't even show up to class at all. Hey bebes! It is me, Cameron, and welcome back to our channel. Okay, so today I am going to be talking to you guys about being pregnant with twins when I was 19 in college. If you are new to this channel, my name is Cameron. I have actually I have one set of identical twins, and their names are Penelope, Rose, and Sophia Christine, and my baby daddy, who is now my fiance, his name is Fabian Lagunas, which is why we're the Lagunas family. So I found out I was pregnant with my daughters in, I think it was like the first or second day starting my spring quarter of my freshman year of college. And that spring quarter, I decided that I was gonna load up on my credits. I was a max credit student, and in my quarter system college, 18 was max, so I was at 18. So I was booked. I was a psych major. A lot of my classes were psych classes or science classes, I think, like chem. I think I took chem spring quarter. And yeah, so I had a lot to do. I think the day was April 4th when we found out that we were pregnant. We went to eat at Whataburger one day, and there was a Walmart next door, and I got a pregnancy test, took it. It was positive. I didn't really know because the line was very, very faint. And then the very next day, I went to the Kaiser that was down the street from our house, and I got checked for real, and not for real, but it was like a for sure yes or no when you go to the hospital, and it was a for sure yes, and I think that was April 5th of 2018 or 17. 2018. Yeah, 2018. Sorry. But that's when I found out I was pregnant. I didn't know I had twins until a month later. When I found out I was pregnant, I wasn't feeling anything, wasn't feeling any symptoms, but I for some reason in me, I felt like, I think I'm pregnant. Like, I wasn't feeling any symptoms, nothing, but I felt like I think I'm pregnant, I need to take a test. It wasn't until probably, I don't know exactly, it was probably like a week later or a couple days later, probably around a week, is when all the symptoms started to hit. I woke up one morning and my boobs were like 2 sizes bigger, and I had stretch marks everywhere, like the dark purple brand new stretch marks, and I was like, yay, awesome. And this was when I had an issue with stretch marks, when I was like insecure about my body and insecure about having like ripples in my skin, which I 100% don't even care anymore. It's my body, whatever. It made twins, so I'm happy with it no matter what it looks like. But back then I was like so sad. I saw my chest and I was like, like, why? Why didn't I even get a warning, like one stretch mark? I literally had like a bear went on my chest. Like, that's literally what it looked like. So that was like the first thing. And then I realized that I had really bad cramps. I felt like I had super severe cramps. And this was the first month, like, following figuring out I was pregnant, because I didn't know I was having twins. So my uterus was not growing at a normal rate. It was growing double the rate because it was carrying 2 babies instead of 1. So I had bad cramps, I was extremely tired, and I think around that time, probably a week or 2 later, is when I started getting super nauseous. So I'm just going to talk you through a couple of my experiences, and then Fabian, who is studying for an EMT midterm, is going to come and share a couple experiences with you after mine, because it was a tough one. It was seriously a tough one. First off, when I said I was full units, about 2 or 3 weeks or 4 weeks into school, whenever that cutoff time you can drop a class is at, I ended up dropping a 1 unit class, which dropped me down to 17 units. I was taking this one class, which was a psych class, I believe, but the purpose was we were supposed to study behavior in children, and we were supposed to actually drive off of campus to schools around the area and observe and just like pretty much note down their behavior and everything. And that was just too much for me to drive. Guys, I was so tired, I didn't even want to drive anymore. And it was on a Wednesday, and that was the only thing I had to do on Wednesday. So I was like, okay, if I'm going to survive this quarter and get good grades, I have to have a break in the middle of the week to do nothing but sleep and study, because I needed it that bad. Like, I am one to be able to live off of no sleep. Like, I barely will sleep and I can still function pretty dang well with a cup of coffee or maybe 5 cups of coffee during that throughout the whole day. But I needed sleep so bad. I just totally dropped that class because I knew I needed that whole day off to just sleep, do nothing, and study for probably like 2 to 3 hours out of that whole 24 hours. So that literally saved my life. So if you know you're pregnant and you're going into school, I would just consider not overloading yourself. You are most likely going to be exhausted. That's really common. That's a really common side effect when you're pregnant. Also nausea, which let me tell you, I remember this one like 2 weeks in a row. I was studying for my developmental psychology class. Aside from the one that I dropped, I had 2 like developmental behavioral classes, and this one was going to be a tough one, and so I needed to be on top of my notes, on top of reading before class, on top of everything, so that I was able to get an A in that class. This span of like 2 weeks, I had like tests and quizzes and everything that I had to study for. I think like 4 days out of like those 2 weeks, I was feeling so nauseous in the morning. I would go ahead and go to the bathroom, puke my brains out for like a bit, and then I would rush to class, go take my test, go take my quiz, and then right after that I would come right back to my room. If I didn't have a class right after, even if I had an hour break or a very short break, I would sleep, just straight up sleep. I didn't want to do anything other than that, than just sleep. And my friends knew it. My roommate, who is my best friend, they just got to the point that they stopped asking me to hang out because I was just so tired. I was literally always sleeping. And it's like a lot of strain on your body when you are carrying a baby, let alone 2. And on top of that, having to stay up late nights to study, having to walk around a campus when you're pregnant. And not like I was full-term pregnant, but still, it was still hard to walk around when I was in my first trimester of pregnancy. Gosh, that was so tough. That 2 weeks, I was always tired throughout the whole semester, but I remember specifically those 2 weeks where I felt like I had a quiz, a test, a quiz, a test, a quiz, a project, something lining up after the other. I remember 4 specific times where I would literally just like throw up, head over to class, come back to my room to sleep until I had another class, or maybe I just didn't even show up to class at all. Oh, another thing, my college was a college that was like a sister school, I believe, to my high school. So I went to a private school, and like half of the people in my class ended up going to the same college as me. So it was kind of weird for me to be like around school knowing so many people, and I didn't want people to know my business just yet, because the first trimester you typically don't tell people you're pregnant because there could be a chance that you'll lose your baby, unfortunately, or babies. So my wardrobe started to drastically change because I felt like if I was gonna wear like leggings, which like Gymshark leggings, which I'm wearing now, I'll show you. So like this band right here, it's like tight on the leggings. So I didn't want to be wearing leggings that were restricting my stomach from, you know, growing out. And typically you'll see someone with one baby and they won't have a belly until around like 6 months maybe. That's what I've seen personally. Everybody's different and everybody's different. but my stomach started growing as early as 9 weeks. I definitely had like a little bloated look. So I was like scared of restriction. So instead of wearing all my leggings, which like the whole school knew that I would wear because I literally only wore Gymshark leggings every day because you weren't going to catch me in jeans walking around class to class and barely sleeping. I was definitely going to be in leggings. I switched over to sweatpants. And I ended up just wearing like men's size sweatpants because my belly was getting big and I didn't want my belly to be noticeable because I'd be tying the sweats high up and just like trying to give myself like a baggy look so people wouldn't notice. And I would be wearing big jackets, and it started to get hot and I was wearing big jackets like this, and people are probably looking at me like, this girl crazy or something. It's literally spring going on into summer. It's so hot and she's wearing all these baggy clothes. So my style was to change. My hair was like always up, looking bad and looking really ugly because I just didn't try. I was there to study, get good grades, and sleep, and then go home during the weekend. That's all I cared about. The crazy thing was, I was really scared that my belly was gonna pop before I finished my spring quarter, because when I finished my spring quarter, I was, 10 weeks from being 3 weeks, I was around 13 weeks pregnant, and that's the cutoff. I believe that's the cutoff of your first trimester, so my belly was gonna pop. It wasn't until my very last final, and I think my very last final fell on a Thursday of the 11 weeks of school, so then I would have been 14 weeks pregnant, I guess, because finals is another week. Anyways, it was that very last final. I had finished all my other finals. I was done. All I had was some Bible class, religion class final, and my belly popped that day. I just wore a big jacket, wore a big pair of ugly sweatpants that were way too big for me, but I was only wearing them to hide my stomach. And I was just kind of feeling like kind of weird because it was like I'm literally walking around carrying twins in my belly, which I knew at this point, and nobody has any idea. It probably just looks like I've been eating good for the last couple of weeks, but it was just like the funniest experience because I was just showed up to class, big baggy clothes, big baggy everything. My hair's looking a mess like it's been looking the last couple of weeks, and I was like hiding these twins that nobody knew about. And then it wasn't until some people somehow found out that I was pregnant and started like talking about it, and I found out that like my community where I live, everybody was like talking about it and found out, that I decided to post a picture on Instagram to like let everyone know like, hey, look, I'm pregnant. If you see me walking around the streets and I have a big belly out, that's just what you're looking at. You're looking at twins. You're looking at a pregnancy. I know I'm only 19. It wasn't on purpose. I wasn't trying to like start my life early. It happened. It happens. And I'm having twins. So just when you see me, just don't say anything. Just get over it. Anyways, so that was my experience in college. And I am going to pull Fabian away from his EMT studies, which I feel bad about. But he wants to tell a specific story, which is one of his favorite stories from when I was pregnant. So I'm going to go ahead and get him now. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome my
Hola amigos!
fiance Fabian, who is back to tell you more about me being pregnant in college and him having to having to take me out to eat every day because the cafeteria made me feel nauseous.
Everything made me feel nauseous.
I literally had to be taken out to eat every single day because if I even smelled the cafeteria, I felt like I had to throw up.
Not only take her out to eat every day, but take her out to eat like multiple times during the day. Because I remember one time we went to Subway, right? Oh my god, I will not forget this. She wanted the biggest one, okay? It had to be the big one because she was that hungry. So I get her the one she wanted, right? And she takes one bite into that sandwich and she's like, I don't like it. No, I don't want it. No, I'm not eating it.
I wasted the whole sandwich. And I was just like, I would never do that, but I had to do that.
I was like, bro, I'm a pro college student right now. Oh my goodness, then the sushi one was hilarious. So I'm working, okay, and it's midnight. No, it's about to be midnight. I got off at midnight at school because I had the late shifts. And what time did that sushi place close? Like 12:30?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's this sushi place that closed at 12:30, right? And Cameron texted me. She's like, hey, I'm craving sushi. And I'm like, bro, it's 11:40. Where am I gonna find this sushi place open? And then she was like, oh, there's one in Riverside that's open until 12:30. And I was like, well, you better call it in. And she's like, oh, I already did. She's like, I'm just waiting for you to get out of work to go get it. So right when I got off work, I was like, shoot, that place is 20 minutes from here. I ran to my car and I hauled booty to the...
We both went.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you did come.
Both went. Yeah, you were like, I'm not gonna get it unless you come with me. And I was like, I'm tired though. Can you just get it?
Yeah.
But I went with him and we shared a little sushi date.
At midnight.
I
didn't eat, did I?
At like 12:30.
Oh no, yeah, I did. I had a California roll.
Yeah, California roll.
Because that's all I could have.
And all I could have was an avocado roll because you can't eat fish, especially raw fish, when you are pregnant.
Oh, and then every single night we had wings.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, that was
even when the babies were just born, we would just pig out. Because I was breastfeeding, so I was burning like an extra 1,000 calories on top of not even having enough time to eat. So pretty much I was barely eating and burning 1,000 calories a day. So we would just buy wings at the end of the night and pig out on wings. Like 50 wings, bread, fries, corn.
I would only have 10 of those 50.
And yeah, we would
It was 30.
eat so many wings.
Yeah, it was 30 wings. And then they had a 41 and we started getting the 41.
That was some fun times.
Yeah, those were funny times.
Yeah.
Where you just eat and not worry about it.
Yeah.
But now we're like, shoot, I have a freaking banana and I'm going like 5 pounds heavier.
Yeah, me too.
One thing for sure that I can recommend is speak up. Like if you have to talk to your professor and tell him like, hey, I'm gonna be freaking late like every day because I'm pregnant and I'm like
I ended up having to
tired.
tell my English teacher that I was pregnant with twins and I was supposed to go in and like fix my draft with this like 10-page paper that we were writing. And she was like totally cool, totally understanding, and that really helped me out a lot. You won't always run into people like that, but when you do, it's really helpful.
So speak up.
Yeah.
Speak up all times. But anyway, that's it.
Yeah.
I gotta go study. Midterms Wednesday, so pray
Proud
for
of you.
Ma.
Proud of you.
Pray for moi. And yeah. Anyway, I'm out, guys.
Goodbye. I'm falling off his legs.
Uh-oh.
Help me!
Uh-oh.
Help me, babe!
Uh-oh.
Babe, seriously! Ow. Thanks a lot, baby.
We're alive. Bye, guys.